Hello, I'm Steve. A little about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 20 years of service. I began my career in the jail, worked the road, and became an investigator. During my career, my training consisted of everything from SWAT to becoming a state certified crime scene technician. I've investigated crimes from thefts to homicides. After retiring and becoming aware of true crime and web sleuths, I started my channel for web sleuths to better understand the perspectives of law enforcement. Not only do we cover true crime, I go out into the field and assist families who have lost loved ones to homicide and their cases are considered cold. Join me as we look and bring attention to these critical cases.
Hello, everyone. Glad you're able to join us tonight. If you're new to the channel, um, excuse me, welcome. While you're in chat here, always be mindful to be respectful of mods, families, and each other. Mrs. Steve should be getting home this weekend and looking forward for her to join us next week. But tonight, once again, I'm solo and having to handle the chat and everything else. So y'all just bear with me as we go through this. I was looking at and trying to figure out, and over the last few weeks, I've done some recreations and about what can be seen and possibilities of what the witness saw that night at 1122 King Road. And that's what tonight's reconstruction is totally based for. I've done some things. If y'all saw the other shows about how easy it is to conceal a knife, this one here is a little bit different. I took my mannequin and I made him mobile. So now he can run around the house. Mrs. Steve is going to be well pleased with what I've done with the place because I had to totally remove some blinds and cover some windows and black out a certain portion of the house so that we could recreate this. And so she'll be well pleased if I can't get everything replaced by the time she gets here and get the mannequin disassembled. So I have a video that we'll be showing. Also, I have a slide presentation. We'll go with a slide presentation first to just introduce how I set this up. And so with that being said, if you have any information about this case, make absolutely sure that law enforcement has all that knowledge, all the information, for the fact that as we go forward with this case and on Kohberger, that if you have any information about Madison, Kaylee, Ethan, Rosanna, absolutely make sure law enforcement has that, because like I said, we have to have justice. Everything I did in this recreation, this reconstruction, is based on what the witness, and as always in most of my shows, or in all of my shows, I know some people will probably be throwing names in there in chat and things, but I don't like names, don't like initials, just witness or something along that lines I would prefer. But I mean, it's pretty well, everyone knows the people that we're discussing of, but I just haven't ever went that route and try to stay away from it as much as possible. But anyway, this witness was referenced in the affidavit for the search warrant and the arrest warrants and all the affidavits about a certain path of travel that the offender or individual, when she opened her door, that she witnessed walking across the room, came extremely close to her, and then passed and walked through the kitchen or into the kitchen. And I bring this up for the fact that in the affidavit, she says, open the door. And I've always thought about what does open the door mean? Some people, when you hear a strange noise, you kind of peek around the corner, or you crack the door, or you crack the window shades. It's human nature. And unless someone absolutely has some information that I don't know about of how open that door was, that may be the reason that he missed her. And for whatever reason, I just overlooked that point up until this recreation. And I said, well, what does open mean when you open a door? I mean, do you fully open it? And even if she fully opened it, she's still within 3 foot of that threshold of from where he walked to where she was. But if she only cracked it, you know, she's 2 or 3 feet closer to him, and so it would have been, you know, she probably would have been 4 or 5 feet from face to face. And like I said, in some of these images, they're extremely low light. So you will probably have to do a lot of squinting, but I did it for a purpose. I wanted to identify that can we see any facial features in those low light conditions, and can we identify a weapon? And it's quite interesting, and I'm glad I did this experiment. But anyway, before we get too far into that, just want to check chat, see if we got any questions coming up yet. Cunningham, Southern Gal, good to see you. Oh, look here already. Southern Gal, thank you for your hard work and support. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. You have a great channel, and I enjoy speaking with your community whenever I come over and visit. Oh, man, let's see here. CJK's in the house. DeMead. Olivia, too. Olivia, too, yes, she'll be here this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I've got a lot of housework to get done before she gets here. I've been up here by myself for over a week, and bad things happen when you leave me in charge of things. Nan R's here. Dandy Linus. Sandy says, you're not late. Excellent. All right. Calamity Colleen, good to see you. If I miss anyone, I'm sorry about it. I'm just trying to check, see if we got any questions and see what's going on. This is Steve may unalive Mr. Steve over these mannequins. Yeah, she says I play with my dolls. You know, they're mannequins. Yes, she's probably going to get me for what I've done to her windows. Oh, as I was doing that, I said, you know, this isn't the greatest decisions you ever made. And Sirius Black, you're absolutely correct. There was so much loss in this. All the families that were affected, and so much damage that was done to these families, the lives of these individuals, each of them absolutely destroyed. And then there's going to be others, their friends, relatives, people they went to school with. These are memories that they will always have. And absolutely, there's no good side to it, not at all. And so we have to hope and make sure that, you know, with the destruction of the house, it drove me to the point of saying, well, how can they recreate this? You know, as we saw in the Murdoch case, the attorneys, as they were questioning certain witnesses, they were doing recreations. And I thought about, can they do this? Is it possible? There may be some leniency that the judge may allow, or they may even go out and they have enough data that they can reconstruct. I have no idea. It would be absolutely amazing of what the courts will allow and not allow in this case, but I'm looking forward to it. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. All right. Okay. So anyway, within the residence, it has been that you can note on one of the walls, there was a neon painting board sign that was on one of the walls, and it had been mentioned that possibly it was on as a night light or otherwise, or but I don't know what all the ambient light sources were that could have given any type of visual assistance to the witness as the offender. If it's Kohberger, he hasn't been convicted of it or found guilty of this yet, but he's going on trial, been arrested, probable cause, all that, but he's still innocent until proven guilty. But if it turns out to be him, what features could she have seen, and how much lighting does it take? And so I didn't have the neon board, but I do have a lot of LEDs. And so I was able to go in and I came up with a system that as I build up the lumens of adding on across the color spectrum, I have 5 different lines. Each line, as you'll see in the video, I kept increasing the number of LEDs as we proceeded. And with that, it got brighter and brighter. But it's still, even at the end, it was extremely low light conditions. And after I took some photographs and things, and as you'll see in the video, you're probably not going to be able to see that knife. You'll see a reflection off the belt buckle, pretty much all you'll see. There's a lot of images that, if you don't like things that are haunting or creepy, there's a lot of shadow effects that you'll see comes across this light system. And so, but anyway, this is what I did so that I could see at what level could you start seeing facial features. I started with only lighting up the first line. Then I repeated the process, second, third, fourth, and fifth, until I had everything lit up. But I also have it that you'll see in the video in full light, so you can see. And this is creepy guy that is on his little roller system, creeper system that I put him on, trolley system, so I could drag him across the room. I set it up the best I could. Over on the right, which would be where the witness's room would have been, is where I put the camera. To the left of the screen where you're looking at currently, you'll see that brown board. On the opposite side of it is the LEDs. And then, of course, you see where the offender would be coming at an angle across that room, approaching the witness. And so as they approach, and I put the speed that through this trolley system, it says I walked. I didn't run. I just walked away, dragging the trolley system. I'm out of the picture, so you'll be able to see this. And so when we're watching the video here in just a second, you'll have a little bit of knowledge of what's going on here. Even in this picture, it's hard to see in full light that this individual is holding a knife. And that occurs. This is the camera I use. I didn't fly my drone in the house. Mrs. Steve frowns upon that, but I did. And I do a lot of my filming videos with just the drone, either handheld or in this manner of staging it. I elevated it because the mannequin on the trolley system is probably close to 6'7". And so I elevated the camera up to give the angle of that would be closer, representing an individual that may be up 8 inches or so shorter than the offender. And but there's a lot of things, a lot of variables I wouldn't be able to replicate. Don't have the exact dimensions, but like I said, this is just something for me to look at, recreate, reconstruct, and give you an idea of what could be seen and what was seen. These are, as you can see here, the picture on the left is no enhancement, the one on the right. And this is just with one single 4 LED string lit up. You can just barely see a silhouette with that amount of light. A little bit better when you get to the second layers, a little bit better as you increase the lumens, gets a little bit better. And then as I was going back and forth at its highest intensity, you can see the comparisons, and you'll be able to watch the video and you'll see this as we go through it. But anyway, with that being said, and that I will get to the video. I'll have to turn my camera off. Let me figure out how to do this. I'll stop my cam and I'll bring my video up. Let's find there. Here it is. And as you'll see, this is in full light as the offender would be coming across the room and coming into up under a direct light source. And I did this several times. And then even in total darkness, I did it once again. Like I said, I was just simply dragging it at a normal walking pace to show you what the angle would be, and to give it that light surface so that you can see some of this stuff going on. And this one here is at its lowest single, and you won't see a lot. There's just a few shadows. But as the video plays along, it gets better and better. Junior Johnson is never a mannequin. Absolutely. All right. But like I said, on that first level, then this is going to be the second level. I come on, turn the lights on, and as you'll see, I changed it from versions so that at some points you're watching to see if you can see his hands. Some points you're watching as you'll see the shadow come across. And so, like I said, that's pretty eerie, pretty disturbing that in that extreme low level, and this is me resetting, taking him back across, that you probably might have been able to see if she was watching as he was approaching the other two victims. And now we go to another level of light. And like I said, sometimes I adjusted the camera down to where just to see if we could see anything in the hands, and a little bit more light. This I think is at least two. You can see him going back across just a silhouette. But I was down here, and I'm playing in the dark with a mannequin with a knife. But everything turned out well. But as we get closer to the end, you'll start seeing, once again, there he came across just the shadows. Can't see much as far as facial features or eyebrow. A couple of times here towards the end when I really was able to, and once my eyes adjusted to total darkness, which our witness would have been in total darkness or in a bedroom, low light conditions, and her eyes would have been adjusted and could have be able to see them extremely well. You may be able to go tonight and turn off all your lights and watch this and be able to pick out a little bit more, a few more details. But here you can start seeing a little bit of shine on the forehead. This one, and then even the next one. But like I said, just that light, seeing the head come across through the shadows. And we're getting close to one of the ones whereas you'll see me walk across, and you can see my facial features as I come across walking. There he comes across. There's Kevin here does the mannequin have bushy eyebrows? He does have heavy eyebrows and a heavy eyebrow on that. But anyway, so now we'll go back. I'll remove that. And I'll bring up the mannequin, and we'll look at a full mannequin with him holding the knife. The first one on the left that you can hardly see anything is first generation I took straight from the video in the highest LED, but I enhanced it. And on the right, if you'll look down somewhere around 8 o'clock of the picture against that white background, you'll see the knife profile. I then went in and enhanced that once again and brought it up and contrasted it to the max as much as I could, and created out of that almost total darkness photo what you see on the right. And you can see that he does have a knife. The one on the left, it's extremely hard to see, but the one on this one furthest to the left, which all four of these images are the exact same images, just with the contrasting and the filters I ran it through to brighten it up so that you'll be able to see. Yeah, I guess if you blowed it up, you might be able to see some of the heavy brow and the face coverage and stuff that you would that is part of what's in that affidavit. All right, let's go back up here and let's get caught up, see if there's any questions, see if anything's going on. But appreciate y'all hanging with me. And let's see here. Try not to lock this computer up. I'm good about these Google machines getting everything all messed up. Let's see here. There's Dave in the house. I may have to move in with Dave after Mrs. Steve sees my upgrades to her windows. Oh, me. All right, let's see what's going on in chat. Melissa's here. Let's see if I missed. I'm looking for questions, guys. See if anybody. Yes, that's the neon light sign that I was talking about. That his eyes, after going and looking at that, um, wouldn't have had the night vision that the witness would have had. While this is going on, I'll replay the. Let me remove that. I'll replay this and let it go from the beginning. And as I answer questions and look for any other things in chat. Oh, thank you, Kelt, member for 10 months. Appreciate that. And Gail Hurt, $10 super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate it. But like I said, I put it in full light and brought it across a little bit of darkness and then put it even here. And let me take that back and stop. Let's see if I can stop this bad boy at any point. Let me remove that. And hide that for a second. Let me go back here. Let's see how good my skills are about stopping. Not real good. All right, I'm going to get it this time, guys. Boom. All right. That's what is facial features. It's a little bit of blur anytime you try to stop it like that. But Gail Hurd, super sticker. Thank you. Oh, well, that's not doing much, is it? I've got to turn on my camera. There's your blue light. Guys, yeah. Yeah, I was over here just clicking away, trying to get my blue light for everybody, and all y'all can do is get the audio blue light. Y'all gonna have to work with me through this stuff. Nothing wrong with males playing with dolls. That's right. Mrs. Steve is a doll. I play with Mrs. Steve. Josh the Posh, will I be able to sleep tonight? I hope so. Oh, let's add that back to stage and get it going while I look at chat and see what's happening. And it says, just clean the windows while the blinds are off. Yes. And on it. But like I said, um, they may recreate. I don't know. There's so much technologies out there now, and I just don't know what the court time uh, uh, the courts will allow um, into these what technologies they'll allow. But we'll find out. There's always been things even as I saw in my career. I started before DNA, um, and it's just absolutely amazing in digital photography. But like I said, these silhouettes, when you cross over this light, that's probably one of the most eerie and things. And I work night shift. I've seen all the shadows you can ever imagine. Oh, Southern gal, you should designate an authorized personnel only room. Oh, Gail Heard, thank you. Gifted one true crime web membership. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate that. Very nice of you. Thank you, True Crime Time. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, and like I said, some of these as I walked him back, I just left the camera running, um, and I'd get everything out of the way so I wouldn't trip or fall, and it worked out. SRB, Senior B, Agatha. Oh no, it's that guy again. Yes, he's a creepy guy. Miss Cyrene. Let's see here. Yeah, there's like I said, I tried to, as each pass came up, I tried to put another line of LEDs to give more light. But like I said, sometimes I angled it down towards the midline waist so that see if we could see a knife. Um, Most of the time, you can clearly see the silhouette coming across or his head coming across the light up in the top left-hand corner. Yeah, Mrs. Steve. There's not much scares Mrs. Steve now after 30 plus years of being together. Um, Thank you, Lone Pony. It's very nice of you. Let's see if I can stop this bad guy as he's coming across. Yeah, I have to catch a reflection of him as he. Some of them, like I said, you can see the belt buckle um, as he came across or comes across. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, oh me. Oh, that's so funny right there. Van R, you'll be fine. Alley cat. And we'll get back. Let's remove this. Get back to the slideshow, and we'll go back through the slides. You'll have a little bit better understanding of them now, of um, of what was going on. Of course, like I said, this was the route And I tried to get the light. Now I could have gone and probably put 50 lumens there and almost made it totally lit up. And I may do that in the future, but uh, I don't think there was that much light. She focused totally upon his facial features. But like I said, as I was recreating this and reconstructing it, um, that yes, you would look, people look to the face for recognition to see who this individual is. Law enforcement, especially in low light conditions, we do right the opposite. We're going to look and find those hands, see if there's a weapon. But you in your home, you see an individual, you're going to look at their face, and if you can't see them clearly, you're going to continue to stare at their face until you can identify them. And I believe that's absolutely what this witness did, and that's how come this witness recognized and saw what she saw and was able to describe to law enforcement because she was totally focused on those facial features trying to identify as anyone would in their home. But yeah, that's even here. Like I said, if you didn't know he had a knife, you wouldn't be able to. Did this witness reportedly yell upstairs about the dog noise before or after opening her door? Anyone remember? I had heard that one time, but I don't know if it was true or not. Crown Web, do you carry pepper spray in case they decide to attack? You would be amazed at how much pepper spray I have. I like pepper spray. I used double-digit cans of it in my career. It works, not all the time, but it does have the desired effect on some people. I'm wondering what's in the barrels. Those are presents for Mrs. Steve. Hello, Terry S. Did they do a lineup with BK? I think I heard someone or something about that. Not sure. Um, I would, you know, I would expect so. There's a lot of ways of doing lineups. You don't have to have an in-person lineup. You can do them photographs or otherwise, and that is extremely possible. And like I said, on mine, I could have took it to the next level and enhanced it a little bit more, ran it through some more filters on mine. Um, I don't know if you could recognize me in that or not. Mrs. Steve might could have. And I hadn't blowed it up. Look at it yet. Been trying to figure out how to get this done. Yeah, I think you probably most people could recognize me. I hope I have get caught back up here over here in chat. Sometimes chat jumps, guys. Y'all just have to bear with me. Someone says that looks like Chris on a skateboard. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let's get over here. If I missed anyone, like I said, I apologize. Get caught back up in chat here. Let me get to another picture. Oh yeah, and like I said, one part of this was to see if I could identify with the hands. And like I said, if you go back to what I snipped from the video on the left, and that was one of the later higher resolution ones or higher lumens where you could see the forehead. But until I started enhancing it, and I had to go through the video because there's really only one place um, that you can stop this video and clearly see it, that knife. That's in this location here. It probably took me 20 or 30 times to get this thing set exactly where I could snip this and get it and then run it through the filters and get it to the point to create that. Let's see if there's any more questions. So this explains absolutely running this test and doing it in these low light conditions. And now with the with me, with my eyes were adjusted and cameras don't always show the full picture. It, so there's once your eyes are adjusted to it, you can see a little bit better in what that camera is. And uh, could I have seen the knife? No, but I could see the facial features. But when I was looking at facial features, I'm within, a foot because I'm there um, as I moved him from one location to the other and resetting him to do a next pull on the trolley. And yes, they could have been, they could have had night lights on the counters, any of the plugs, don't know. Mrs. Steve keeps them throughout the house. Um, night lights, I have no problem with them. And a lot of people have them. Plus, you can have street lights, neighbors' lights, um, um, light coming from everywhere, from the moon and otherwise. But yes, that's a good point. They can be a lot of different ways of light. It took me almost an hour um, to get this room because I did this in the middle of the day to get all the light source from coming in here. I have looked that up and I can't remember, but it was not a full moon. I don't believe. I think it was one of the quartering moons or something. Let's see what's going on. Oh, Mrs. Steve says, tell Olivia too, hello. And I'll post a mention. And yeah, if I missed something, hello, Kelp. Good to see you. Thank you. Should be in the starred grouping. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. And so let me get to the starred group and see what's going on there. Let's see here. We got Southern Gal. We had that with the blue light. We had Kelt, member for 10 months. Appreciate that. We had Gail Hurd, $10. I'm having to pay close attention to Mrs. Steve because, like I said, Gail Hurd gifted one True Crown Web membership. Shelly, member for 17 months. Wow. Thanks for everything. Thank you. And then Lone Pony, Mr. Steve, do you know what the moon was that night? Some of us were wondering. Those doors to the kitchen would have brought a lot of light in. Like I said, I think it was, I have looked that up and I can't remember because I looked it up for all the cases. I looked it up for Delphi. I looked it up for Evansdale. I looked it up for some other cases I'm looking at. And, but I think on this one also it was the same. And Shelly, $3 super sticker. Thank you. Bamasin, penalty free for missing live, fee for missing live last night. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then Teresa K has been a member for 4 months. Thank you. And I had the camera on this time. Don't want to. Yes. Yeah, I think, like I said, when my eyes were adjusted, I could see pretty much facial features, but I was 2 or 3 feet away from it. And there's a possibility that she was also, that if she was peeking through that door, and had it partially open, that he may not even realize. Just don't know. Kelly says, "Thanks for replaying. I'm late." I think Mr. Steve is like Grissom on CSI for his recreations or for his experiments. Thank you. Yeah, and like I said, once your eyes are adjusted, this, I'm having to work with some unknown variables. She would have known exactly, and law enforcement would have known from talking to her and asking and uh, exactly what light sources were on, and they would have gone through that and they would have documented every detail of that because they're going to need it in court. And yeah, this is exactly. I don't know if it's been reported anywhere at this point, but law enforcement knows. They would have asked everyone. We have two people, and we're so fortunate that they were unharmed and that we have them that can tell exactly what was the normal light sources in the house throughout the night, what time, who came in, and things of that, and what normally was the light conditions in there. And they could go in and say, yes, this is what normally is on, and there's not even a question, which without them, there would always be a question. Yes, Sirius Black, people that go after victims. There's nothing that these victims, doesn't matter, not that they did. I don't believe that most of these rumors and rumor mill out there, but even if you took one of these rumors and it was 10% true, it still doesn't matter. None of these victims deserve anything of what happened to them. Um, and it's just absolutely sad that people in our society choose to attack victims. Um, they wouldn't want to be attacked. True Crime Web Steve just has senior moment with a blue light. Yes, I have a lot of senior moments with blue light. Oh man. Let's see. Pilot Dragon. This is terrifying. It is terrifying, and it's um, I've seen so many victims, and uh, and as I processed the crime scene, trying to work my way through it, and the conditions of what their final struggles were, and it's there's nothing good about we're looking at it from the perspective as web sleuths. The jurors, when they see this, these jurors and the courts and the attorneys, um, everyone will be affected by this for the rest of their lives. There's no getting around it. I've never been to the house on King Road. I don't know if that was for me or for someone else. Devoted Mariah says there's a human element to being scared of shallowy, dark lighting. You already feel vulnerable. And that's an oddity for me. I rather work in the nights, and it's cooler. Law enforcement, of course, but um, but I've always found some comfort in those low light conditions. I like shadows. Mrs. Steve, not so much, but I'm still going to get rid of the mannequin before Mrs. Steve gets home. Yeah, and I absolutely agree with this. True crime time. That there was just enough because, like I said, she focused on that. Said they had a all dark, all black clothing, dark headgear, and was able to see his bushy eyebrows. So it's and but even in these two pictures here, the one on the left, whereas you can see um, his eyebrows and the forehead and facial mask and dark clothing, you can identify everything that she said that she saw in this picture, um, other than the knife. And it's hard to see the knife, and if you're not focused on it, you would miss it, even on the picture on the left. Yeah. Uh, yeah. This, like I said, I got the knife picture up there now for you there, guys. Oh, yes. Some of Mrs. Steve, some of my biggest issues that Mrs. Steve had with me was some of the training I went through and being tased and sprayed and everything that comes with that. Uh, I've I've been tortured. Texas Ranger, hello. Yeah, that pic makes you look creepy. Oh yeah, it's not one of my better moments. I have bear spray also, but I got it for going out west, and I'll probably need it. We're going to go back out west. Mr. Steve, what do you think about the terabytes with the defense saying that they do not have enough time? Um, now, the that much data, and it is a huge caseload. I don't think there ever will be enough time for this, but they'll be able to get through it. Not all of that is reading materials. A lot of it will be videos and other sources, and but there's um, whole groups of people, and it's easy to say that, well, the defense team will be given everything that they need to ensure and make sure they have everything covered. In this much terabytes, I can see where things could get missed, but the defense has something that the prosecution doesn't have. The defense has Kohberger. Kohberger knows what he was doing that night. Kohberger knows every moment of his life. He knows all the people that can be his alibis. He knows exactly where he was. He knows what route he traveled. And there is a plethora of cameras out there that, okay, at this specific time, you were riding the roads, and where was you? Where were you at this specific time? And I doubt that any of us, even in this area, would be um, 10 miles from a camera at any moment and probably would be captured. And as there's an individual riding around in a vehicle just like his. They have something that the prosecution doesn't have. So, of all that terabyte information, all the stuff out there, a lot of that is not the pre crime. That much terabyte during the actual crime itself is probably not that huge. And I know it's not that huge because you're only looking at what, 12, 15, 20 minutes. And so if he's somewhere else, we're not looking at the total picture. All we need to know is, okay, where was you at this specific time? What were you doing? You were driving what roads at what speeds, and um, take show me exactly on this map where you went. What did you stop? Um, uh, did you go fishing? Olivia too. I can't make out anything. Yeah, it is dark, but I wanted to do that. And like I said, um, I could have brightened it up all the way to the point of the. Let me start this over here. As you can see him come across. Hmm. Go back in there. I hit the wrong button sometimes. It's amazing. Yes, the victims, they were seen on video all the way up until they got to the residence almost and within minutes of. And they have a timeline of witnesses and alibis all the way up till their final hour there. And then, of course, they're inside their residence. Uh, True crime. Would the smell of blood have been pervasive and a unique smell that morning? Um, I don't know what the normal uh, uh, smell of the house is, and I don't know each individual. Some people have, it's just like everything else. People have different um, visual range, and then also uh, even when you smell, people have different levels. But there are certain things that happen during life and death struggles. There are things that happen after death, and from those certain odors are within a residence. I have no idea. That would be noted, and of course, law enforcement will be able to speak more of that because there are a lot of things. It's not just blood. Zelda, thank you. Teresa K, member for 4 months. I got my camera on and everything. Hold up with everything in here, guys. Terry S, thanks for the great videos. Thank you. Appreciate it. Violet Dragon says, I make sure all my windows and doors are locked at all times. It's annoying, but I'm paranoid. I've been in houses where um, during chases and things where bad guys wrecked and ran into a house and are being chased and by other officers, and they'll just do a run into a house. And I've heard families screaming and about get out of my house. And of course, doing what law enforcement uh, um, are training that when people are screaming, that's a clue. Be able to react and make sure that we respond to that. Uh, Terry, yes, thanks for the great videos. Thank you. Yes, I also agree. I absolutely believe um, that when you look at this image here of me in those, as I was walking past, I was a little bit closer to the line of that the trolley went back and forth on. That the reflection and I'm probably about 4 feet away from that camera view. And like I said, um, if I was wearing a mask over half my face, you would be able to tell that. Um, and you would be able to see clearly one side of my face, because I feel comfortable that somewhere between the picture on the left, which is not filtered out or contrasted out, that somewhere's in this uh, field of that this is what she more than likely saw. Just my opinion. I have nothing other than this test and this control to base it on, but I believe that's what she saw. And I think that she was focused so much on those facial features, trying to identify that who is that? Which one of my friends, family, other friends, family, or friends of their friends, who is that? And she was trying to identify them. And that's how come she focused on those facial features. And yes, I think that as I walked, and this is Josh, as I walked after resetting the mannequin each time at the end of the trolley run and came back, yes, you'll see me looking away from the. Actually, I was looking away from the LEDs for the fact I didn't want to lose my night vision. And even in this moment, I never even saw the cameras. I knew where they were, but I tried to stay close to the lights, but look away from them because there's a lot of things in here. Plus, I'm dealing with a mannequin that has a knife, and that would not be something that I would want to engage. Yes, Dwayne, I just like previously, I believe that the lighting did play a factor from that neon painting, good vibes, and that with doing this control, it makes me even more have a stronger feeling along those lines. Junior Johnson, I get paid on the third. I'll do that instead of super chat. Yeah, they made a comment about the foundation, and we do. We have the foundation that we go out and work code cases, and we're getting ready for a summer trip going out west. We got a study that we're going to be doing with the University of Florida on um, uh, environmental DNA collection of, and see if it can have a role in the discovery of victims of missing persons in cold cases. And so we got that going on. And if you um, wish to donate to the foundation, it's at truecrimeweb.com. And there's a link there. We appreciate that. That means a lot to us. Hello, Jill. Cunningham, Steve, was there any outside lighting that could have added to the light inside the building? Also, wasn't most of the inside lights were on when crime occurred? I don't know exactly what inside lights were on. I have no idea, but law enforcement would, and the victims were. Uh, and um, I, if I was more along the lines that everything was off other than the good vibes and whatever ambient lighting, um, because you know, that was just my impression. I may be absolutely wrong on that, but that was my impression. Hello, Drunk Turkey Show. What's up? Good to see you. My Google machine is attacking me. It doesn't like me. Oh, man. get back into move that, add the stage, and get him playing again there. Let's see what's going on in chat. If I missed anybody, hello, Micro K, the real Micro K. Good to see you. Real Micro K. The good vibe sign and fairy lights would light up enough for her to see him, but it probably blinded him and he didn't see her. Absolutely. That is my impression of what was on. And that's how come I, when I did the trying to recreate the lumens, where did I do it? There it is. And each of these, I think, are like 75 lumens. And so even if you added them all together, you know, you're only talking about, and when you have separate light sources and broke up to 75 lumens, is why it may total up to a relatively bright light. It's perceived in a different way. And I know that for the fact of the research I did on it when I was looking this up. I mean, but I didn't have a neon sign that I could use. True crime web, don't keep reading if you don't want to know. Bear spray doesn't really work on grizz. I understand that, but I'll do what I got to do. There's other things that might work on grizz. Let's see here. But like I said, I just wanted to recreate it, and this is normal walking speed. I got booted from where we were at the very beginning of the stream. Some things happen sometimes. I hate that. I appreciate that you're still with us. I didn't get you. It wasn't me this time, but sometimes some of the mods might be just wandering across, and it will double click and things happen. I've taken some of my best supporters and thrown them in timeout and just trying to highlight their comments. And so I'm gonna have to come up with a special badge of honor for those that I put in timeout for my accidental big thumbs. K Music Taylor, you're now my favorite, Steve. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, and now, if it, I'm glad you're here, but you obviously are like myself. You have a very dark humor or interest in the darkness, and which I do. I'm absolutely. Um, my whole life and my career was dedicated to go out and hunt the bad guys. And there's a lot of bad guys at night. And for whatever reason, I had that instinct and I enjoyed it. I think I had a pretty good career, and I've had my fair share of encounters in some very dark places. But I appreciate that, Kay. Ah, gifted a True Crime Web membership. Thank you. And get called up here. I'm doing pretty good, I think. I'm not too far behind now. And this is a really good point. It's so refreshing to hear the surviving member get some support, because so many people do not understand that they cannot speak their truth right now because of the gag order. Absolutely. And you are correct, Texas. That sign may be exactly one of the reasons it would have been. And like I said, it's looking at it and doing my walk past. I could see, like I said, I didn't see the camera or anything. Um, Sergeant Creepy is on a roll again. Yes, Sergeant Creepy. I have a lot of sergeants in my house. Hey, Music State Taylor, $2. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. Steve, my sis says to ring bells and bang pans together. Best to just stay away from the Grizzlies. I just put spam in my friends' backpacks. Whoa, Wallflower, good to see you. Thank you. Josh the Posh turning in early. All right. Um, how tall is BK? I think he's like 6'2" or so, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. 6'2", 6'3". And my mannequin normally is 6'2" or 6'3", but I put him on that trolley and that raised him up. But then in that process of raising him, I also raised up the camera system to represent taller than average female. Oh, me. Devoted to Mariah. I have jokes. I was quite noted for my humor. No, yeah, I was. Yeah, I have a. Uh, Danger Dave can tell you I have a pretty. I have an interesting humor. I can't say it's great humor, but I have an interesting. All righty, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. And like I said, I wanted to do this control test to give you a little bit better understanding. I'm sorry it's hard to see, but it will have been similar conditions of that night. And there's only one way of doing that, and that's trying to recreate it the best that I can. And that now that the house is not there, they can't go and see the ambient lighting. They can't recreate at the scene as good, as best the conditions as possible, because we have a witness that was on that floor within feet of both sets of victims, and would have known exactly how much lighting there was, and could uh, testify exactly how much, what the lights were, the positioning. But we won't have that anymore. But anyway, but if y'all like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, tell your friends about the channel. We appreciate all y'all support. Couldn't do it without y'all. Appreciate all the donations. Everything that came in tonight means so much to us. And look forward to seeing Mrs. Steve this weekend and seeing y'all Hello, Peggy. Good to see you. And I look forward to seeing y'all in a couple of days. Y'all stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.